Hi, my name is Kevin Bracey, and I am will be talking about updates on the OpenChrome project. So, first of all, the OpenChrome is basically it's a graphics stack for VIA Technologies Chrome graphic engine, and this stuff is really old. So, I'm sure some people heard of VIA, but they're basically out of the chip business. But there's still people who use it. So, the work continues to support those people. Since XDC 2019, that was the last time I spoke about it. I did a presentation on that, and since then, I did some, change in my development environment and validation environment. And one of the thing that I finally did was I ditched Ubuntu-based OSs, which was pretty nice, but they didn't have they dropped the 586 or 486 support like 10 or 12 years ago, and I always wanted to find an OS that I could do what I call a 586 processor class compile. And the reason why that's such a big deal to me is because VIA sold this processor called the C3 processor, and it doesn't have a couple features that makes it look like a Pentium Pro or P6 or 686 class processor. So in order to run it with the C3 processor, you have to do a 586 compile, which is like basically a Pentium 1 and from like 93 or something in terms of the instruction set support. And this is because there's this thing called the CLE266 chipset. It's like the first generation one. We like to support it. We like to give some love to it. So that's why I've been thinking about migrating to Gen 2 for many years, but I finally did it because, they dropped support for 32-bit. And I installed it to I don't have it here, but to a SanDisk Extreme USB stick, which has very high endurance. So it's like lifetime warranty. And I'm not trying to do advertisement, but I installed it. I recently built the image. It could boot. I'll test it next week with my partner. And we do mainly now the validation on Gen 2 because it has excellent 32-bit support even today. And this thing called Knoppix because my partner, Eric Cutzin, who actually bailed at the last minute. So he's not here today, but he likes Knoppix. Knoppix is like a Debian-based OS that is, what should I say, RAM disk. It's a RAM disk-based distribution. He really likes that. So he does a lot of testing. He catches a lot of bugs, and I have to go fix it. So I really appreciate Eric for pointing out all the problems of my code. Okay, so there's several graphic stacks in the OpenChrome, like any other, typical graphic stack. DDX, there's not a lot of work going on it right now. So this is like the summary of what I did over the last 3 years. There's not that many commits. For the DRM side is where a lot of the action has been going on. And I finally did atomic mode setting implementation, which Intel's Daniel Vetter has been pushing me since 2017. Kevin, do it. Kevin, do it. And, I finally forced myself and I did it. He was kind of right that it's not that bad. It's only maybe a few hundred lines of additional code. But, it took a lot of time because it's really hard to debug the problem, and I'm not good at debugging it. So there's still the gamma correction palette initialization that's missing. So it's probably not really full implementation yet, but it works. And then the difficulties. So this is the thing that kind of struck me in 2021. And, again, I don't want to get into trouble, so I'm not going to criticize any particular person, but, sometimes they make changes to the code, but mine is not in the DRM subsystem tree, so I don't get any help. So I have to go figure it out if they change something in the code. And, sometimes I can't really figure out what the problem is. So these two cases I pointed out here with actually some of the commit IDs, some of them took like 6 months, 3 months, because I wasn't that good. There's a huge gap in the commit date if you actually go look at it. Search by my name and my special upstream repository. But the last couple cycles have been pretty nice to me. So, I've been able to keep up with the DRM subsystem. I think there's going to be a new pull request coming out soon, right? Probably a few days. Okay, so I'll probably be working on that pretty soon. Since I got these issues taken care of finally, and 2021 was miserable, but I overcame it. So I started thinking, I should do this. I should try to get it into the tree, right? And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I wanted to time it against XDC 2022, and here I'll be saying, oh, I finally got it into the tree. That was my original plan when I applied for this speaking slot. I'll talk about what happened to it, but I did various preparation work. And then what happened? And then finally, I think it was, sorry, I'll go back to the previous one. So I submitted the code around mid-June 2022, which was really like the last chance to possibly have a shot at getting it into the tree before XDC 2022. So I aimed for like mid-June and mid to late June, not too bad. So I ended up having basically only had 3 versions of the code. The first one did not work with the standard tree, only worked with my custom version. So people pointed out the problem. So then I released the second one and the third one. Second one apparently compiles correctly, and the third one has some additional improvements, but it's not really that different. It was very painful to generate 32 patches manually, and I don't know how to do it. Automate the thing. I really hate doing the 32 patches thing. So I was hoping it will be accepted by now. Unfortunately, some things did not work out, and one of the unexpected part was I expected a DRM subsystem maintainers. There are 2 people, Airly and Vetter. I think Daniel Vetter's not here today, but they didn't really respond to it much, unexpectedly. I was hoping they will kind of, point out this or that, but I didn't hear much. And then the matter was taken care of by the DRM MISCs, main developer. And initially he was willing to, pull it in, but then didn't like something in the code. And that was with this UAPI thing with acceleration. Basically his philosophy is if you're not having acceleration, why are you using UAPI? That's his point. And so that basically was a deal killer to me. And the reason for that is because I'm planning to do acceleration implementation soon, and I'm already working on it. And I didn't want to really change a lot of the code at this point, so I decided to kind of abandon the effort for now. I'm planning to, get back into it and definitely, try in the future. But next time, I definitely going to get the UAPI implemented with acceleration working as a, precondition. So the current version that doesn't have acceleration with only mode setting, I'm just going to kill the effort. So the development roadmap. So I have to really get the command submission stuff working, and also there is a DRI 1 era legacy code, which I'm sure a lot of some people in the DRM development community want to get rid of that legacy code. I'm trying to kind of update it so that maybe someday we could get rid of that legacy stuff. I guess that's my small contribution possibly to the DRM subsystem development community. So, but however, the DRI1 code has some benefit to it. So I'm going to reuse it, especially I discovered that the command verifier, I could pretty much like compile without too many changes. And then VIA had some code dump for the DRM, their own version, which didn't get accepted into the mainline. So, and then the DDX side, I was planning to do a separation between the active development branch and legacy branch. And because it's the libdrm dropped auto tool support, it's very difficult to support backward compatibility in terms of being able to compile in really old X servers. So I want to drop the legacy stuff and separate the code. And then for Mesa, there is actually Unichrome code from a long time ago trying to revive it and reuse it because I don't think I could really reinvent the wheel. And for their newer engine called Chrome 9, this thing doesn't, it was like binary only and it didn't never disclose it. So I don't think I will really try. So that's basically what I'm planning to do over the next couple of years. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation today. Thank you.